EA Sports just released a bunch more Madden ratings and people are pretty mad at these today, so we're going to cover all of the new ratings that dropped today. If you want to check out the wide receiver and tight end ratings that dropped yesterday, I will link that video below in the pinned comment. And also with the game dropping in less than a month, I want to let you know that I will be having some exclusive gameplay pretty soon, so if you don't want to miss that, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you don't miss that video when it drops. Today we're going to be looking at a bunch of guys on the defensive side of the ball, all of the edge rushers and all of the linebackers. So let's kick it off with the top 10 edge rushers. Keep in mind, these are guys that play on the edge, so this doesn't include guys like Aaron Donald. He's considered an interior defensive lineman. We've got Myles Garrett coming in at number 1 at a 99 overall, staying with the 99 rating, but here's where people have a lot of issue. TJ Watt at number 2 at a 96 overall after winning Defensive Player of the Year. He also tied the single season sack record as well. Now, TJ Watt consistently seems to be underrated in Madden for some reason. I don't disagree with Myles Garrett as a 99 overall. I do think he's the best edge rusher in the league, but TJ Watt just kind of has something about him that you can't properly grade. He just gets his hands on the ball, he gets turnovers, and he also generates a lot of sacks. Even if some of them are cleanup sacks, it doesn't matter. He still gets the job done. He won Defensive Player of the Year. I think he was the runner-up the year before. He should be a 99 overall as well, in my opinion. Then you've got Nick Bosa at number 3 with a 94 overall. You've got Von Miller at 4 and Khalil Mack at 5 at a 92 overall. Joey Bosa at 6 at a 91 overall. He seems to always kind of be in this same range. I think he should probably be a little higher. Cameron Jordan at number 7 with a 91 overall, DeMarcus Lawrence at number 8 with a 90, Chandler Jones at number 9 with a 90, and Rashawn Gary actually comes in at number 10 at an 89 overall. Now we're going to get into the rest of the edge rushers, but let's look at some specific stats among those edge rushers. We have the top finesse move guys. We got TJ Watt, Nick Bosa, and Joey Bosa tied in the top 3 spots with 96 finesse move. Danielle Hunter at number 4 with 92 finesse. We've got Myles Garrett, Chandler Jones, and DeMarcus Lawrence all coming in with 91 finesse. And we've got Shaquille Barrett and Melvin Ingram in the next 2 spots with 90 finesse, and Von Miller with 89 finesse. Now let's talk about the power guys. At number 1, Myles Garrett with 98, no surprise there. Chandler Jones at number 2 with 94. Von Miller and Rashawn Gary are up next with 91 power. Cam Jordan comes in 5th with 90 power. Khalil Mack at number 6 with 89 power. JJ Watt and Zadarius Smith in the next 2 spots with 88 power. And Nick and Joey Bosa coming in at 9 and 10 with 87 power. And the next big thing is block shedding. The guys that are even better against the run because of how they shed those blocks. Von Miller comes in at number 1 with 92. Myles Garrett comes in at number 2 with 90. Up next, we've got Khalil Mack and DeMarcus Lawrence with 89 block shed. Then we've got TJ Watt, Cameron Jordan coming in at 88. We've got Shaquille Barrett and Eric Armstead coming in with 87 block shed. And then JJ Watt and Danielle Hunter coming in at 9 and 10 with 85 block shed. Now let's take a look at the top 10 linebackers. Coming in at number 1, Fred Warner, still the number 1 linebacker in the game at a 94 overall. I think he should be a little higher. It seems weird to me that the linebacker ratings seem to go down year after year lately. Like, we haven't had that top end 99 linebacker since Bobby Wagner got it a few years ago. Demario Davis coming in at number 2 with a 93 overall. Lavonte David still coming in the top 5 spot. He's number 3 with 92 overall. He's been here for quite a while now. Bobby Wagner has come down a little bit, but he's still hanging on into those 90s with a 91 overall. Darius Leonard finally starting to get some more respect in Madden, kind of like TJ Watt. He's a guy that I feel is usually rated too low in Madden. He is a 90 overall. I would probably have him ahead of Bobby Wagner at this point. I would probably have him more in like the 92 range personally. Roquan Smith getting a little love with 89 overall. I think you could argue he should be a little higher, and I think this year, if he has another good year, he's going to start shooting up a lot more in the overall. Michael Parsons comes in at number 7 with an 88 overall, very similar to the Jamar Chase situation. They're both in the high 80s after having ridiculous rookie seasons. A lot of people feel that both of them should be higher. I agree, but that's just not typically how Madden does things. They usually wait a little bit throughout the second year for them to prove consistency, and then they shoot up into the 90s, which he probably will. Eric Kendricks comes in at number 8 with an 88 overall. Devondre Campbell getting some love with that 87 overall, and then Devin White comes in at number 10 at 85 overall. Now here are the top 10 guys in terms of tackling. Devondre Campbell coming in at number 1 with a 97 tackle rating. Roquan Smith with a 96 tackle rating. We've got Bobby Wagner, Jordan Brooks, and TJ Edwards with a 95 tackle rating. Demario Davis and Darius Leonard are next with a 94 tackle. Levante David and Kazir White come in with a 93 tackle. And Denzel Perryman comes in at number 10 with a 92 tackle. So here are the ratings of the rest of these guys. Now keep in mind, all of the linebackers and defensive ends are kind of grouped together because Madden still has the outdated terminology. They don't have edge players and then just pure linebackers in the game, so a lot of these guys are mixed together. Some of these linebackers are actually edge rushers. Some of them are off-ball linebackers. It's something that EA really does need to change and has needed to change for a while. But here's kind of the next tier of guys. So we do have JJ Watt still at an 87 overall. Not the guy that he once was, but still a very solid player. Still a guy that gets double teamed a lot. Still a guy that's very smart, good against the run. So I do agree that he should still be about where he's at. Matthew Judon comes in at an 87. Here's one that a lot of people have issue with. Max Crosby is only at 87. This guy, I mean, he's just been solid since he's entered the league. He's gotten better each year. Last year, he went crazy. 87 seems very disrespectful. Max Crosby should for sure, I think, at least be a 90. I think he's done that now. One of the ratings guys did say the fact that the Raiders switched to a 3-4 this year, it's moved Crosby from a DN to an outside linebacker, which he said is probably dinging his rating a little bit with the overall formula. But once again, this is where we go back to what I just said. EA needs to put edge as a position in the game so that these things can be properly rated, because Max Crosby certainly shouldn't be this low. Eric Armstead, Brian Burns, Chase Young, and Zadarius Smith all coming in with the 86. I think those guys are pretty fairly rated. I would say you can maybe bump up Brian Burns a little bit. Devin White at an 85. We already saw that. We have Josh Allen at an 85. Trey Hendrickson at 85. This is another guy that I think is very underrated in Madden. He had a good year with the Saints the year before last. Then he goes over to the Bengals, has an even better year. Pretty sure he was a Pro Bowler. I'm not sure if he was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He might have been, but I could be wrong. But he was a sack monster last year. 85 just seems very disrespectful. He should be at least in the high 80s. 88, 89 I think would maybe be fair. 85 is just too low. Melvin Ingram, Shaq Thompson, and Tremaine Edmonds come in at 84 overall. Carl Lawson, Emmanuel Abla, Harold Landry, Logan Wilson, and Robert Quinn all coming in at 83. I think you could definitely argue that Harold Landry and Robert Quinn should be higher. I know Robert Quinn is older and he kind of had fallen off for a bit, but he's had a resurgence as of late, and he was a guy that had a ton of sacks last year. Actually, he's been very productive. So I know he's older, but it seems pretty low based on what he's been playing like lately. And Harold Landry definitely, to me, is better than this rating for sure. And then we got CJ Mosley down here at an 82 overall. Moving along, we've got Deion Jones, Denzel Perryman, Hassan Reddick, Jadeveon Clowney, Jordan Brooks, Marcus Davenport, Miles Jack, Preston Smith, and Yannick Ngakoue all coming in at an 82 overall. I don't really take much issue with these guys right here. I think Davenport is a guy that would probably be higher if he wasn't injured so much. Miles Jack, you could argue maybe should be a little bit higher, but other than that, I think this is pretty solid. Here we got Matt Milano, Randy Gregory at an 81. That feels a little low for Randy Gregory. Brandon Graham getting a little bit older now, and he's been missing some time with injury. He's down to an 80. You got guys like Josh Sweat at an 80, Leighton Vander Esch at an 80, a guy that does get injured a little bit. Leonard Floyd at an 80, Montez Sweat, I think he's kind of a beast. 80 feels a little low for him, but I think he might kind of fully break out this year. You've got Cole Holcomb at a 79, and now we're just getting into some of the high 70s guys. Jerome Baker, Jerry Hughes, Justin Houston, still old, but still, you know, somewhat productive. These guys at a 79. Nick Bolton at a 79 feels very low. He was really good as a rookie last year, and I felt that he was underrated all last year. He was one of the rookie guys that just didn't get a lot of love in the roster update. He started getting some more love towards the end of the season, but it seems like he's still very low. I mean, for a guy that played that good as a rookie, I mean, you couldn't give him at least an 80. I know it's just one overall difference, but 80 kind of just separates from the 70s, you know what I mean? And Nick Bolton's just not a guy that I look at and think, you know, he's a guy in the 70s. That's just not something that I think personally. Jumping into the 78s here, there's some names that stand out, like Isaiah Simmons. I mean, he hasn't really quite been the guy that he was hyped up to be yet, but you know, he's definitely still got some time. I think Jeremiah Owusu should probably be higher. When he did play last year, he looked really good. Same with Odafe Owe. I thought he looked really good as a rookie as well. It feels like some of these guys are still kind of having that rookie rating when they proved that they were pretty good last year when they played, and they should probably be in the low 80s. Let me know what you think below about these ratings, and if you missed the wide receiver ratings, check out this video right here on the screen.